Hello, and thank you for choosing Scoutradioz for the 2023 competition season. My name is Jordan Lees, and I'm going to take you through a casual tutorial on how to use Scoutradioz. I'm going to start with how to log in. So here is the homepage of Scoutradioz. We've got three little options depending on who is actually viewing the web page. On the bottom, we've just got a little info card on what Scoutradioz is, some useful links, and a link to the Discord. If you have not joined the Discord, this is the best way to communicate with us. And up here, looking to view data or logging into Scout, both let you choose an organization, but if you click looking to view data, you don't have to be taken to a login page. So let's click on this for now. If you ever want to go back to the home page, click on the little menu and click change organization. That takes you back here. So I'm going to hit logging into Scout, and I'm going to select demo data. If you'd like to view the demo data, please let us know in the Discord, and I will let you know what the password is. Just don't want this to be public on YouTube. Once you type in the organization password, this is a password that everybody has to type in. You hit enter, and then you get to see the list of all the members. So you select who you are. If you are a team admin or above, you will need to have a personal password. If you're a scouter, you don't have to have a personal password. You select your name, and you click login, and you go straight there. If you're team admin or above, you have to have a personal password. I'll type mine in now, and I hit enter, or click login, and I'm taken to the home page. You might also be taken to the management page if you're a team admin. We'll go over this later. To start with, scouting falls into two groups. So there are team members who are assigned to pit scouting and to match scouting, and there's scouters who are not assigned, and so they can be called in to do ad hoc scouting. So assigned scouts are team members who are put into a scouting pair and who are assigned pit scouting and or match scouting. So here's an example dashboard. We have the scouters are assigned into pairs. So, for example, Ethan has a scouting group of himself, Josh, and Trent. So Ethan has pit scouting assignments to these teams, and his partners are assigned to these teams. So when they go out into the pit, Ethan, Josh, and Trent all go together, but since Ethan is assigned to teams 2053, 27, 3504, etc., Ethan's the one who fills in the form and who talks, and his partners help. And then for teams, 120, 144, etc., his partners are the ones who enter the data and who are doing the talking, and then Ethan helps. So when you're pit scouting, here's the form that we have that we had in 2022. Make sure that for your assigned teams, you make sure to take a good picture of the robot. So when you start, you'll upload the photo. You'll be prompted on a phone. You'll be prompted to use the camera. So you click on the button, you use the camera, take a photo, or if you use your camera app, take the photo of the robot. Make sure it adequately gets the features of the robot, and then while it's uploading, it'll upload in the background. You can start asking questions about the robot. So regarding the free text fields, be complete, but don't go overboard. Don't start writing, Moby Dick inside of the text fields. Just be reasonable, so that other team members can read it at a glance. Once you fill out all of the checkboxes, you click submit, and then you'll be sent back to your dashboard, and that team that you just scouted will become gray. So during qualifyings, keep an eye on your dashboard and keep an eye on which matches you're assigned to. So match assignments are set in blocks. So in this case, when I set these match assignments, I put them in blocks of 4. So note that Ethan is on for matches 1 through 4, off for 5 through 8, and on for 9 through 12, etc. So always keep an eye on when your next block of matches starts. So be in the stands, in the seats well before your block starts. So between matches 5 through 8, you can go to the cafeteria, get a hot dog, but make sure to be back, let's say before match 8 starts, so you have plenty of time to get ready. And also, if there's a match or multiple matches where you cannot be there, make sure to get someone to cover. Let your scouting lead know, and or ask somebody specifically, like, hey, can you cover me for these matches? So yeah, the match scouting form. So let's click on team 378 for match number 1. It shows the team number, and it also shows the team number, shows the color, and if there's a photo, it will show the robot. There you go. I paused the video and I opened a new browser tab, a new browser window, an example of a robot photo. So in the case where you are in the stands and you cannot really see the team number, you'll be able to use the photo to see the robot structure. Here's another example. Let's say 102. This is us. We've got a little photo of the robot, and so you can see. If you can't see the number, if they're blocked by the center of the field or something like that, or blocked by field elements, you'll be able to see. Oh, okay, hey, it's like a wedge-shaped robot with some plexiglass in the front. Okay, that's the robot. Now back to the match form. So each team can customize their form, but the way that we do it, and the way that the default form will be, is that they're broken up into sections. So we have the autonomous period, where you can record what the robot does in autonomous, and once it's done, you have to make sure to progress to the next section. So you can either scroll down, or you can click these arrows to automatically scroll between the sections. So teleop starts, we'll record, okay, they scored some cargo, they missed some cargo, scored something in the lower hub, okay, they missed something in the lower hub. Just an example. And once that's over, click the right arrow, got the end game. So make sure to note, in 2022, you make sure to note what time they started climbing. Let's say there were 35 seconds in the clock, and then once they finished, there was 5 seconds. Let's say, for example, they finished right at the end, and they attempted to get to the traversal bar, and they successfully climbed the Hyatt bar because they ran out of time, for example. Now let's scroll down. These are the last few bits. Depending on what your team configured, there's usually going to be a general section with general observations like whether they defended, other notes. Now, the other notes are extra qualitative things you noticed about the robot's performance that can't really be noted through numerical forms. And this is a special form that will be required on all schemas, and you don't have to worry about saying something that you don't want other teams to see, because you have to be logged in as a scouter. Like, you have to have entered the org password and selected a scouter's login in order to view the other notes in reports pages. If, for example, there's an error with the way that your device is rendering the page, like, for example, this is probably a bug you'll have to fix, the submit button is covered. You can always disable this fancy dynamic scrolling thing, and the page will just display as normal. None of the buttons will be disabled, and you can click submit once you're done. submit, and go back to the dashboard. Next, I'm going to log in as somebody who is not assigned to match scouting. So I'm going to hit user in the menu, hit log out. I'm going to log in, type in the org demo password, and I'm going to make sure to select somebody who I know is not assigned. So logging in. This is the unassigned dashboard. So you just have links to pit scouting and match scouting. So for example, if you have free time at the beginning of the competition, you want to help one of the scouting groups, or say, for example, you arrived late and you weren't assigned to pit scouting, but you want to help. So you click one off pit scouting, you'll just get a list of all of the teams that are assigned. They're gray if they have already been scouted, and they are highlighted, let's say, because the colors might change. They're highlighted in the situation where they're not scouted yet. So we can click on that as normal, open the pit scouting form, do as I've described in the earlier section. So next, let's go back to the scouting dashboard. Note that we got this leave site warning. That's because the page has not been submitted. So let's just get back out of that. And now we can do the one-off match scouting. This one will probably be more common if you, for example, are a parent who came into the competition. You may or may not be assigned, but here's the one-off match scouting page. Here we can see the list of matches, and this is actually a very useful page for the scouting lead, because you'll be able to see at a glance how many teams of a given match have already been scouted. You can also, at a glance, see who's assigned for this match, and so before the match, you can go over and make sure that everybody's ready. Next, let's talk about the responsibilities of the scouting lead. So well before a competition, days before or weeks before, make sure to double check with the team management that your member list is up to date. So in the management homepage, you either click Manage Members or open the menu, click the arrow under Manage and Members and Member List. So here you can update the status of all of your members. Down here, you add a new one. So a quick breakdown of the meanings of these different fields. So the name is obvious. Sub-team. These are configurable by your team. So the gearheads are split into mechanical, electrical, and programming for during build season. There's also drive team. There's Scoutradioz dev, because we developed Scoutradioz. There are team leads, like, for example, if you're a scouting lead, you might be a team lead, and non-students would be like mentors and parents. Class determines your seniority in the team, so it affects the likelihood of being assigned during match scouting. And so we have the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior for students. We have alum for recent graduates. Middle school, because sometimes we have 8th graders on the team. Mentors who are part of the team, and we have parents who are just showing for the competitions with their children. Now role. This is your permission level. So viewers have the same permission as anybody who's not logged in. Scouter, you have the ability to view the scouting dashboard and all of these subpages, and you have the ability to scout matches. Team admins have access to the team management page. You have access to this page. You get access to all of the subpages of this dashboard. You get to change the event. You get to change the scouting form, etc. So years on team, this also has to do with seniority. Another thing that's important is that all of your team admins have a password. So when you create an account, let's say I'm creating an account for Joe Schmo, who's going to be the scouting lead. So Joe Schmo, he's going to be a team lead. Let's say he's a junior, and he's a team admin. I don't know. This is his first year on the team. We click add. And down here, we have a little password audit page to make sure that all of your team leads have set a password. So here we note that the team admin, Joe Schmo, does not have a password yet. So Joe Schmo will have to log in. I'll actually do that right now. This is my incognito tab. User, log out, log in. Joe Schmo, click login, and now he's prompted to create a new password because he has elevated permissions in the organization. So you must set a password to ensure others cannot log in as you. Click login, and now we'll refresh this audit page. See, he does have a password. So now I'm just going to delete him. So again, before the competition, make sure that your member list is up to date, that their number of years on team is accurate, their class is accurate. It's kind of tedious to update these guys all at once, so hopefully we're going to add a feature at some point to just bulk edit these guys at some point. But that is not there yet. So then, shortly before the competition, meaning let's say the day before or 2 days before, go to the member page. Go to the manage page. So click the menu, click manage, and now set the current event. So I've already done this to Greater Pittsburgh Regional, but I'll just search for it. So you select the correct year. Let's go Pittsburgh, you search, and then just click on this, and it'll give you a prompt, set Greater Pittsburgh Regional as a current event. Yes. And just validate that this is the correct one. And another thing that you can do is validate that the list of teams is correct. So click on the menu, click on Info and Reports, Teams, and there's a list of teams. If for whatever reason there's an error that suggests, oh, maybe the team's listed out of date, just click on this button, Update List of Current Teams, just to make sure that all the data is in sync. Next, as a scouting lead, the day of competition, let's say, for example, you're meeting at your school before you take the school bus over to the competition, you want to get a list of who is present at the event. So you can either click this button, Set Who's Present, or go to the menu, Manage, Scouters, Set Present. So here, use the checkboxes to take attendance on who is coming. This will be useful later in the assignments section. Click Update Present Members, and then it's updated. And next, what you want to do is go to Manage, Scouters, Scouting Assignments, and create scouting pairs. So I'm going to start this back up. So we clear scouting pairs. It's not going to delete the data. And refresh the page. So to create scouting pairs, you just click on 2 names or 3 names and click Submit Selected Members. So let's just do this. Let's say make a group of 3, and let's make another group of 3. Next, to create pit scouting assignments, click this button. Be cautious because this will actually delete data if there is any data. So type in your password. Now here, you get a little warning. By proceeding, you'll be permanently deleting the data from 5 scouting assignments from this competition. Now, this is a competition we didn't go to, and those 5 pit scouting assignments were just empty. I just created that for the gray buttons. I'm going to hit Yes, Proceed. And now we have pit scouting assignments. Next, we did the same thing for match scouting. So this is it's a bit complicated legacy code. We're going to update this in a bit to be much more smooth, but here's how it is at the moment. So you click reallocate teams at matches to match scoring members, do the same thing. Again, we got this warning, but this is data that was just bogus, if you remember from previously in the video. Hit yes, proceed. Now we have match assignments. Next, we have the block-based match assignments. So all of these scouters will automatically be placed into the rounds, but we can also have mentors and non-students and leads and alumni and parents who can be put into the rotations. So let's say, for example, Andrew and myself and Will are able and willing to score. But what you'll want to make sure of is to not put yourself as a scouting lead into the rotations, because it's usually helpful to have the scouting lead able to put themselves into, scout one match to cover for somebody, or to just be focused on guaranteeing that the next match is ready to be scouted. So we click reallocate teams at matches to assigned plus checked, and we get taken to the match scouting dashboard. So yeah, for the match blocks, the app lines up the assignees by subgroup seniority, like from freshman to sophomore, junior, etc. Picks off the first 6 in the line, and then randomly assigns them to robots for the next number of matches. And the n number of matches is this that you selected here. If you have fewer scouters, then you'll want to do smaller blocks. If you only have 6 assignees, then they're going to be doing every match with no breaks. So this is not really what you want. So you'll want to try and have at least 1 or 2 people on standby to cover for folks who need a short break. If you have 12 in total, they'll be do n matches on and n matches off on loop. If you have more than 12 assignees, they might occasionally get 2 by n matches off. So in this case, suggested block size would be 5. If you have 7 to 11, they'll usually do 2 blocks on before getting 1 block off, and so a good idea for that situation would be 3. When it detects a break in the schedule, for example, lunch time or the end of the day, it stops creating assignments, because oftentimes we notice that students might leave after lunch, people might come after lunch, people might only come for the competition for 1 day, somebody might come for the second day. So the assignments stop at the end of the block. And so, when lunch is about to finish, you're going to hit reallocate teams again and create the new assignments. Or in the morning of the competition, on the second day, you're going to click this button again to generate after a break. So during the competition, managing the scouts, the scouting lead can look at the one-off pit scouting dashboard, which is this, to see which teams need to be scouted. So, whoops, my bad. Whoops. So the scouting lead can look at the one-off pit scouting dashboard to see which teams still need to be scouted in the pits. And at the bottom of the list, you can click refresh with team photos, so you can see teams who have not yet had photos uploaded. Here's an example of a completed scouting page. You can just quickly see these thumbnails to make sure that all of the teams have been scouted and all of the teams have photos. So during qualifying matches, you'll want to keep an eye on the one-off match scouting dashboard after each match. So every time you refresh, you'll see which matches have been submitted by which matches are grayed out. So here's an example. Just click submit, and let's just go back to the one-off match scouting. So I think I yeah, I'm signed in with myself, and I put myself into the rounds. So once I submit, I actually go back to the main dashboard. But this is the one-off dashboard. And every time that Scoutradioz gets a little ping from the Blue Alliance that the match has been completed, and we get the match details, this will disappear from the rounds. So it'll automatically update with the match results, and once we get the match results, they'll go away. If it does not seem to be getting automatically updated, then you can attempt to force a match update. So click on the menu, go to Manage, Event Data, Matches. Let's open this in a new tab. And you can either click Update All Matches or update, let's say, for example, qualifying match 11. I don't know. Click Update. Yeah, and we get the data for that one. Let's just, let's pretend that matches 1 and 2 were completed, and let's get rid of this. And go back to the match scouting dashboard. I'm going to refresh. Now matches 1 and 2 are gone. Now, I'll explain really quick what I did for this example. I hit update all matches for this event to get all of the data, and I hit reset all matches to erase the data to pretend as if we're at the beginning of the competition. I implore everybody to be very careful when you are using this page, because clicking update and clicking reset will reset the match data for everybody using Scoutradioz. I'm just going to do this real quick. There is like a central database where we keep in sync with the Blue Alliance. And so if there are 2 teams using Scoutradioz at the same competition, 2 organizations, let's say, and you click reset all matches, the other team will also lose the match data. So just be careful when you're using this page. Our goal is to make it such that, you'll never have to view this page, keeping things automatic, but that might not happen. So, bugs can happen. So we're giving you guys access to the, this match data page. Just be careful. And if needed, you can swap scouts for match scouting. For example, let's say, Joe leaves and then Samantha comes in. You can go to Manage, Scouters, Swap In Out Match Scouts. Oop, I see a typo. And here we can swap their assignments. So, I don't know, let's say Seth wants to be swapped with Andrew. So we just that. And now Andrew is now assigned to matches that Seth was originally. So as for tracking how well the scouts are performing and or how well they did after an event, we have some audit pages. All right, so in the organization management page, you can click Scouting Audit, or you can click Manage, Scouters, Scouting Audit. And I set it back to the 2019 Pittsburgh Regional, which is our snapshot of the middle of a competition. So this is the audit trail for match scouting, which shows just a little block for each match that has been completed and each assignment. So you see a green Y if the scouter who was assigned to the match completed the match assignment. You see a yellow C if it was covered by somebody else. And you see a red N if the match was not scouted. We can see in the 2019 Pittsburgh Regional that the first couple matches were not scouted. I believe we had some logistical issues that were going on. So the first few matches they were getting set up. But we get the comments audit. This is important because you'll want to check this every so often, because just to make sure that nobody wrote anything inappropriate. And scouters who are considering writing something inappropriate as a joke, we can tell who you are, and we can also tell your IP address if you sign in as somebody else, your IP address and your user agent, to see if you attempted to sign in as somebody else. So don't do it. Yeah, so the comments audit, they're grouped by Scouter, and then sorted by match number. So you just take a look, make sure the comments are okay. Photo uploads audit, I'm pretty sure you're not going to see anything here. Okay, no. You will actually see actual photos here. These empty photos are just a relic of the fact that databases were moved. This was 2019 before we switched to Lambda, so you'll actually see the photos here. This was clearly a test photo that I uploaded myself. Anyways, we have a Scouter accuracy audit, which is a work in progress. We also have per match audit. This is similar to the per Scouter audit, but it's just sorted per match. One sec. So here we have a Scouter accuracy audit, which it's a work in progress. But here, when completed, it'll attempt to identify which scouts are less accurate than others. So you can help find a scout who's having trouble, for example, having difficulty recording certain events. You can also highlight if somebody happens to be turning in bogus data. Not that anybody would do that, but the scouting lead can remind the scouts that a data audit exists, so nobody would be tempted to fill in bogus data. So yeah, we get a little Scouter scores page. I'm going to blur out these names. Get the number of matches scored, their average point difference. It'll be changed once we complete it. Next, for the drive team. The drive team, before a competition, should drive team and or whoever is analyzing data should ask the team admin which parts of the form they want to show up in their dashboard. So this is a drive team dashboard. This is what the drive team will want to look at before the next match. So you get the next match of... So by default, you just get the very next match. But you can also choose a team. Let's say, for example, I'm 102. Choose that team. So now I see 102's next match. This will be probably more important for you guys. You get a predicted score. So we're predicted to lose, but there's always a chance of an upset. This is what you want to define. This is what you want to define of which data points you want. The data points that you want to show up here are what you want to define. So let's click this menu, and we go to Choose Report Columns. I'm going to open this in a new tab. So this is the default. This is where you choose what shows up on the dashboard and also in the reports. So the organization defaults are bold. So if as a user you have not selected anything, it'll just use the organization default. So to start with, I'm just going to click the default button to get a basis of what I want. And let's say, for example, I want to note whether they recovered from a freeze and whether they have outstanding performance, which is a qualitative metric of just whether the scouter thought, oh, wow, this robot did really well. That might be useful to see. And let's say, for example, I don't care about whether they started on level 2 in a sandstorm. So if you are, as an individual member, want to change that for yourself, you can just click Save Column Selections, and then that'll save it just for you. Let's just go back. That's weird. Okay. Anyways, now you'll see outstanding performance and recovered from freeze. But if you log into somebody else, you won't get that. So what the team admin will do after the drive team requests, what data they want, you'll go to the choose report columns, and what you can do is check this to set the organization defaults. And you hit save column selections, and this will become the default. I gotta fix this. That'll become the default column for everybody who signs in. Yeah, so here's some notes. Oftentimes, the drive team or whoever's analyzing data will want to reduce the number of columns being displayed by default in the charts and graphs. So yeah, we set the defaults. You want to winnow down the default columns to the key indicators like derived values, like contributed points, total pieces, etc. Yeah, for better readability, you want to keep the number of default displayed columns to around 16 or fewer. And as I noted before, individual users can customize their own selections. And aside from the radar charts, almost everything in the reports and charts and stuff are clickable. So let's say you want to sort, or you want to click here, you get to team 379. You can, if you click on one of these, for example, that'll give you a metric intel page of see the statistics of this one metric per team. You can click on 3954, that goes to the team. Let's go to previous matches. We've got notes. Let's go to scout data for this match. This is clickable. Let's go to team 3954. Let's go to previous matches. Let's go to team match intel for this team. So when you click on here on a specific match, you get this is essentially just the results of the match scouting form. I'll go over all of these report things in another video tutorial, and I'll also go over line selection in another tutorial. All right, that concludes the first casual tutorial of Scoutradioz. I'll upload something more professional at some point later, but I've only got a limited time right now. So here we go. Thanks very much. See you in the next one.